course, they had a list of people, you know. So I'm watching, and one time I actually went with him on like
Wow.
a route that he had because somebody didn't show up or whatever. And I watch him go knock on this strangest door.
Yeah, that takes a lot of confidence.
Yeah, knocked on this strangest door. Never seen him before in New Jersey. I was like, man, we about to get shot out. This could go bad. And he was like, hey, no.
Sit back and relax and get ready for another exclusive episode of the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast with Lopez.
This episode is brought to you by ERC. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a business? If you have a business, you need money. So, did you have a business during the pandemic with 5 or more employees? If so, you might be leaving money on the table. All you got to do is go to my website at lopezthesane.com, and at the top of the website, click the tab that says Get Money Back. And the best part about this, it only takes 10 minutes for you to see if you're qualified for this money. So don't wait. Go to my website, lopezthesane.com, and click on the tab that says Get Money Back, and you're going to get this money for your business, and you can thank me later. Welcome to another episode of the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast. I'm your host, Lopez. So like and share this episode. So, if you like or ever thought about being a copywriter, or you want to learn about copywriting, this is the show that's for you today. Because I have another wonderful guest, and she's a award-winning copywriter and marketing expert who teaches entrepreneurs how to write words that sell without sounding sleazy. She's been featured in some of the top publications like Business Insider, Refinery 29, Glamour. She's spoken at some of the top marketing conferences in the country like Inbound and South by Southwest. And her courses has helped thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs to create high converting copy. And her mission is to help people find their true voice so they can feel deeply seen, heard, and empowered every time they need to talk about their business. My special guest today is Kelsey. Foremost, welcome to the show. So where you from?
Originally San Diego, California, but I did a big loop around the country over the past 15 years or so. So I was in San Diego for a long time, and then in Charlotte, where you are, for school. And then I was in the entertainment industry for over 10 years as an actress and a screenwriter. And that took me to the UK, up to Edinburgh to do some Shakespeare acting. Took me to New York for a few years to do some kind of Broadway stuff, and then took me to LA for 7 years. And that's where I was until I got to where I am now, which is Santa Barbara. So I made a big loop.
That's good. You're well traveled. You've done some traveling. Yeah.
Yeah. Everywhere you live has a different lesson to teach you. And I've never been somebody who necessarily wants to stay in the exact same place and situation. I think a lot of entrepreneurs can probably identify with that, where you're like this, but this and something better, or this and the next thing. What's the next, in a healthy way? What's the next place that's going to help me become who I want to be?
Yeah. So, how'd you get started as a copywriter? And this is like one of my favorite topics because I'm gonna say copywriting and the internet saved my life. Literally.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to hear your story with that.
Because I use copywriting to get jobs, to create a resume. I feel like I have an edge over most resume writers. And plus I know how to get my resume seen. I know how to get past the gatekeepers.
Correct.
So that's why I say I use copywriting even when it comes to speeches that I've done in the past. So that's why if I didn't have those skills, I would have done something stupid.
Or you would have done something great and nobody would have seen it.
Either or. So this is why I say copywriting and the internet has changed my life. So how'd you get started?
Man, you're speaking my language. So briefly, I was in an industry, actress, screenwriter, where there was something about it that I liked, but I didn't like the lifestyle and I didn't like the experience of being an actor. It was really cutthroat. It fostered insecurity, both financial and emotional, and it just wasn't for me. So even though I was successful on paper, I was in a movie with Zac Efron, I was on big shows like New Girl and Modern Family. Okay. I was living the dream for all intents and purposes, and I was still super unhappy. And also, I never knew where I was going to be financially month to month, because that's the nature of that business. And it's also the nature of a lot of businesses where you either are stuck somewhere where there's not a lot of mobility or opportunity for change, or it's so unstable that you can't predict what your income's going to be. And that's where I was as an actor and a screenwriter. So long story short, I had a friend who was a copywriter for a very fancy, famous business coach. And I was seeing what she was doing and I was like, oh my God, I could absolutely do that. And I've got this unique perspective of coming from a screenwriting background. I know how to make something entertaining. I intuitively understand that content can be anything, written, video, podcast, whatever. Content has to entertain first before people can absorb the value that you're giving them. And entertaining doesn't just mean funny. Entertaining means it's holding your attention, right? So I took what I learned from the entertainment industry, combined it with a lot of learning about marketing and copywriting, and created my own company, which is Magic Words Copywriting, that is designed, it's still my company, to help people who hate writing learn how to write words that sell. It is so much about your mindset and understanding that when you sit down to write, it is not about you, and it is not about you being a quote unquote good writer. It is only about answering one question in your reader's mind, which is, what's in it for me? Yeah. And if you can get that, if you can understand that anything you're putting out into the world should answer that question, you are going to be leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else, which it sounds like you understand deeply.
Yeah. Yeah. Because most people have a bad habit of, even when they speak or when they write, they say, oh, I want this, So I think a lot of people kind of have a hard time with thinking about the other person in mind. Yeah. Well, we're not taught that, right? No.
When we're in school, here's the thing. The American education system, great, everybody get educated. Yes, very pro education. However, the way that we are taught in school, we are taught to be workers. We are not taught to be innovators, and we are not taught to problem solve. We're taught to regurgitate. We're taught to memorize and repeat things, right? Yep. So It's simply a lot of the time because no one has been taught to think differently. It's not about writing even. It's about how you think.
Yep. Yeah. So how did you know that, hey, you know what? I can teach people how to be a copywriter. I can start a company. And how'd you have the confidence that, hey, you know what? I can do this?
The messy middle? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it was a slow burn. And I think a lot of times people see the shiny end result and they don't really understand how slowly that process can happen sometimes. So I would say it took about a year of ramping up my learning of copywriting and dialing down my work as an actor. And then eventually the paths crossed and writing overtook acting. And it naturally kind of happened. And I started small. I really got honest with myself at first of like, okay, how do I want to make money? I knew I wanted it to be on my own time. I knew I didn't want to work for like a big company. I was still kind of being an actor, doing that thing. And I needed like an extra side hustle. So I started on a freelance platform and I thought, I'm just going to get like 4 projects under my belt and see if I even like this. And immediately it became very clear to me from the feedback that I was getting, you're really good at this. Like you should keep going. So every time I got a new client, I would start to invest a little bit more in learning the science part of being a copywriter. And then over the course of a year, I really became an expert. It happened slow. It's not very glamorous.
No, not at all. Not at all. So who's your, I guess, ideal client?
A small business owner or an entrepreneur who is working by themselves or with a very small team, who understands that communicating with their ideal customers is the number one way that they can increase their conversions. I love when a small business owner comes to me and they're like, I know I have this great idea, or I know I have this great product, but I can't seem to connect with people and I can't seem to make people understand the value that I'm providing. So I come in and it's almost like therapy in many ways, where we really dial in, okay, what is your value? What's the worth that you are giving people? What is making people so grateful they found you? And that's when the magic happens. And once we start, verbal vomiting what that looks like, then I can come in and be like, okay, then we're going to craft it in this way. And you're going to put it on your website, and using nothing but words, you're going to 3x your conversions. It's amazing. I've seen it happen hundreds of times.
Yeah.
And every time it's amazing. It's amazing because it's just words. It's not a fancy algorithm. It's not a technology. It's just words.
Yeah. It happens like magic.
It happens like magic. That's why I named my company Magic Words.
Yeah. What about if the opposite is true? You meet some people and they don't see the value of copywriting. They don't see the value of using certain words, whether it's speaking on their website or it could be any form of content. There's some people that, I'll give you an example. There's a lady I met last week. She's an insurance agent, right? And she said she knows what she should be doing. I should be doing videos on LinkedIn. I should be posting a blog every once in a while. I should be getting, I should change my website and get names and email addresses, but she hasn't done it yet.
Yeah.
Right? How do you handle situations like that?
I walk away with grace and I let them come to their own conclusions. So just getting a little bit more personal. At first, when I started my company, I would try to convince people of my worth. I would try to explain to them over and over and over, like, no, you don't understand. Like, if you want that result, if you really want that result, then this is what you need to be doing. And here, I'm going to spend all of this time without you paying me. And I'm going to like make you like me. And I'm going to convince you of my worth. Right. And to be very transparent, it was in doing a lot of personal work, especially when the pandemic hit, and getting into therapy and understanding like not other people's emotional work is not my emotional work. All I can do is show them the results and say, listen, businesses that invest in copywriting see 300% more conversions than businesses who don't. If you would like to have 300% better results, I would love to help you. But if you don't want to be here, then I can't help you. I can't help you. It's their journey.
Yeah, I have some experience with that. I gave a guy his money back.
Yeah. And God, is that hard to do? No small potatoes. It is really hard, like emotionally, to walk away from money, especially if you're in business for yourself, if you're a small business, a freelancer, what have you. It's one of the hardest things to do, but it is one of the most valuable skills that you can learn.
Yeah. Especially if you're just getting started. At the time, this is like my second year being a freelancer. And I did everything I could. You know, he didn't do anything. Yeah. So I just said, hey, you know what, man? I can't help you. You know?
That's right. You couldn't.
So I PayPal his money back, and boy, he was blowing my phone up.
Yeah.
You must be a Republican.
Oh my God. Oh, I just pulled my headphones out. That was so funny. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That is so funny because it's
you can't help everybody.
You can't help everybody. And it's, there's a phrase I'm trying to think of where it's like, it's like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die, right? Like it's driving me nuts what that phrase is, but it's so interesting because those people clearly know that they need help. They know that what they're doing isn't working. They know it so much that they're paying someone who is an expert to help them, but they have an issue with trust. Right? Yeah. And letting go of control. So often this stuff comes down to control and shame. That they don't already know how to do it, that they don't feel like an expert. They feel small. They have that beginner's mind, or they don't have a beginner's mind, excuse me. It's such a common.
But shame. Oh, man. Whew.
I know I'm getting Brene Brown over here. But
the shame holds most people back.
Yeah, especially in marketing. Isn't that so interesting?
Yeah. I mean, it's in their personal life is one thing, but in their, I guess, jobs or their careers is another thing, you know.
Oh, our personal crap shows up in our business.
Yeah.
Every damn day.
Yeah. So let's get to the good side. What if somebody come to you and say, hey, this is my product. Mm-hmm. This is my service. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm doing okay. I just need a little, fine tuning. I just need a little kick in the butt, so to speak. What do I do? Where do you usually start from?
I tell them to pick one of my 3 signature freebies, depending on what they need the most. One of them is just 3 copywriter tricks to 3x conversions in less than 30 minutes. That's the one that most people start with. And it's 3 small, very practical, normal things. It's not crazy marketer speak. It is not rocket surgery. Just 3 things to help you change your website copy to sound like yourself and also to appeal to your ideal customer. And I'm happy to go into a couple of those things in a second. The second freebie is all about how to start or grow an email list, because sales happen in the inbox, not on social media, and not even on a website, and not even on a sales page. It happens in the inbox, period. End of discussion. So if that's something that you need, that's a great freebie for you. The third one is how to write an optimized Instagram bio. And that can also apply to LinkedIn. It can apply to YouTube. It's about an optimized social media bio that immediately communicates your value and connects with the type of follower who's going to turn into a buyer. So those are the 3 freebies that I have. Again, freebies, they're free. Download one of them, and then you can go choose your own adventure on how I can help, whether it's done for you copy, done with you copy, or a DIY option where you are taking a template or a mini course or something like that. All of my stuff, no matter what it is designed to inspire and inform. It is meant to make people who hate writing learn to think like a copywriter without shaming them. That's the bottom line. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. So, people will, come to you and say, hey, I want to learn how to write copy. I think there's usually 2 to 3 people that I usually get.
Yeah.
The ones that want the copy done for them.
Yeah.
The ones that want to learn copy.
Yes.
And it's kind of like the ones that, they kind of want to learn both.
Yes, I agree. Yes. So that's exactly why I have 3 options. So the done for you is the first thing you said, where someone's like, I don't have time. I have the resources, the financial resources to hire somebody. Please do it for me. Great. No problem. The second option is done with you, which is for who you were just talking about. The person who is like, I don't really trust myself to write it all. And yet I know that I need to learn some stuff about how to think like a copywriter. Those are my favorite clients. And that is what I offer, like a done with you, where I will actually sit with you, talk out your brand voice, help you nail a tagline, a value proposition, understand how likely it is that you're actually going to blog or write an email newsletter, and like play to your strengths, and then actually take everything that we talk about and write copy with you watching me on a screen. It's my favorite way of helping people done with you. And then the DIY for people who are like, I don't have the resources or the time to work with a professional copywriter, but I know it's going to help me. So I'm going to take your copy class, or I'm going to download this template and do it myself.
Gotcha. So you have a membership. So what's
I do.
What membership is what's that all about?
So with all of my copywriting students, and by the way, I've got over 8,000 students in my various courses, mainly my signature course, Copy Class, which opens twice a year. And I'm so blown away every time I share that statistic. It's still like, oh my God, that's crazy. But it's true. Like, copy touches everything. It does not matter what business you're in. You have to put words on the internet. You just got to do it. So in dealing with, but in hearing from so many students, a lot of them were like, I love the way that you talk about copy. Can you help me with a different aspect of building my business? Like, how do I set myself up legally? Or I really want to get on podcasts like this one. How do I pitch myself to podcasts? There were all these questions about having a sustainable business that I really started to ethically look at myself and be like, okay, I know that I could help so many more people if I created some kind of container that was shame-free, where we just focused on one thing a month. And each month we focus on one needle-moving aspect of building a business, and we do it together. And there's new resources that come every week, but it's a monthly theme, and it's optimized to make sure that people actually get things done. I think there's a lot of really salesy stuff out there in the world that makes these huge promises that just doesn't feel right to me. And so BYOB, which is my membership, Build Your Own Business, it's meant to speak to that entrepreneur who's like, I can't freaking handle another $5,000 membership container, which basically you're paying to be on an email list with other people who got sold the same thing. Is not actually helpful. So BYOB is my answer to that. Like trying to put something positive out into the world that will actually help people create businesses.
Yeah, I think one of the most, I'm not going to say overrated.
Yeah.
Maybe, I would say overrated. Things that a lot of people don't do is focus on building a list of people that they can build a relationship with. A lot of people are just not doing it. Yeah. They're not doing it online and not doing it offline. They'll meet somebody in person, and that'll be 9 times out of 10, that'll be the only time you ever see that person ever. Yeah. Unless you follow up with them, but if you don't follow up with them, they probably won't follow up with you. And I think people do it. It's kind of like a habit. A lot of people have. They just don't. Only a small percentage of people are doing it online and offline. And how do you get the point across to somebody like, hey, this is very important. You really need to. You really need to get people's name and email address, and you really need to follow up. How do you get that point across?
Honestly, nerdy statistics. Because I think if people hear the numbers, it like shocks them into action. I'd be happy to share some nerdy statistics right here, right now. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Push your imaginary glasses up your nose. Let's get into it. A message is 6 times more likely to be seen in someone's inbox than it is on social media. So what that means is even if you have a bunch of social media followers, 6% of those people are seeing your posts at any given time. You are 600% like increasing the likelihood that someone is going to see the content, not let alone buy it, but see the content at all if it's in an inbox. So you're 6 timesing your success rate just by using email instead of social media. Next up, ROI, return on investment. This has been like years and years and years and years of research. And this is the most recent statistic, which is that for every $1 spent on email marketing, you get an estimated $40 in return. There's a 40 times ROI. That is insane. That is insane. To put that in perspective, it's about 2-to-1 for a social media ad, for a paid social media ad. So you can spend $1 on Facebook and make $2 back, or you can spend $1 on email marketing and make 40. Okay. Next statistic. Okay. I have to run through my email statistics in my head because I have so many of them. I love it so much. Okay. Yes. Psychology, human brain, right? This is science. We cannot beat this. We cannot get around it. No. It takes an average of 9 times of somebody seeing us or seeing our content or seeing our expertise in the world for them to trust us enough to buy something from us. Now, go back to that first statistic of a message is 6 times more likely to be seen in an inbox, right? So if we need to show up in someone's life 9 times, then it is way easier to do that in their inbox.
Yeah.
It is nigh on impossible to drive someone to your website organically 9 times. It is nigh on impossible, or it's going to take a freaking year on social media to show up 9 times. You gotta get an email list. You gotta do it.
It's mandatory.
It's mandatory.
I learned copywriting from a street magician. This was like 2003. He was a street magician, right? And he didn't use no social media. All he had was an email list, names and addresses, and he used to do magazine ads at the time. So all he would do, and he might do a newspaper every once in a while, but all he did was magazine ads, and he would collect home addresses and email addresses. And what he would do is get people to call this 800 number. They would leave their name and address, and he would send them a newsletter or a sales letter. That's it.
A street magician. I love this story.
Yeah, and he was like, because he was looking at us like, what? At the time, I was on MySpace at the time.
Sure,
MySpace,
yeah.
Facebook.
2003, I know it.
Yeah. I'm not doing any of that stuff. It's a waste of time, right? And so I'm looking at him do this. I'm like amazed, because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm going at this wrong. Go ahead.
Well, as you're speaking, I'm thinking, okay, so what's the holdup, right? If we know all of that, if we know these statistics, if we've heard it a million times on podcasts, and if we see it in action with these street magicians who are crossing our paths, like what's the holdup, right? And I really think it's that people are scared to write emails. Yeah. I think people are like, I don't know what I would say. I feel like I would be annoying. Do you agree? I mean, I'm literally talking out this thought.
I think that a lot of people think that they don't believe that it's going to work. And they don't want to be. I mean, there's nobody around to be embarrassed. It's just them writing the emails or whatever. But if by chance, if there is somebody around there, they'll say, I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want the other person on the other side to think that I don't know what I'm talking about, and on and on and on and on.
Back to shame.
Yeah, So when I saw him do this, and I'm on MySpace at the time, it's basically just not doing anything. So he was like, hey, I'm gonna show you how to do this.
I love this.
And I took what he taught me, because he taught me to do offline marketing basically. Yeah. And I took the same concepts and I brought it online. I was like, oh, okay, this is better. I understand. Yeah. But the problem with the internet and these websites, things change so fast.
You do.
That's the problem.
They do, but the principles of copywriting have been the same or same-ish since the 1960s.
Yeah. And this is why, this is what I don't like about being online. Things change, so you have to, make little changes here and there, whatever.
Figure out the next platform. Yeah.
But overall, like you said, the concepts of copywriting, it's the same, But that's how I learned. I learned from a crazy street magician.
Do you remember his name?
Joe Schroeder.
Joe Schroeder. Man, I thought you were gonna say like Bubbles the Mime or something.
He retired like 8 years ago.
Okay. Well, shout out Joe Schroeder. He was
an older guy.
That's awesome.
He was old. When I met him, he was like 55.
Do you know the story that you're sharing is making me think of a class that I taught on taglines. And I love showing old taglines and new taglines, like holding them up next to each other and sharing, like, even though they're 50 years apart, they are still both extremely effective because it's the same principle of copywriting. So, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know, copywriting is just writing that's designed to make someone take action. So it's not just writing. It's like writing with a purpose, right? You want somebody to act when they see what you've written. And the fastest way to do that is to make yourself memorable and also to pique people's curiosity. So I'm thinking of this magician man, and I'm thinking like, what an incredible, I'm sure that he was piquing people's curiosity.
Oh yeah,
You know?
he was like he studied people.
Yeah.
Plus he had he owns a wholesale meat company. So what he would do is he got like, I don't know, at least 10 trucks at the time, and the salesman would go door to door and sell whatever seafood, whatever meat or whatever they would. And then, you know, of course they had a list of people, you know. So I'm watching, and one time I actually went with him on like a route that he had because somebody didn't show up or whatever. And I watch him go knock on this strangest door.
Yeah, that takes a lot of confidence.
Yeah, knocked on this strangest door. Never seen him before in New Jersey. I'm like, man, we about to get shot out. This could go bad. And he was like, hey, no, I've never been shot at. I've been told to leave, but I've never been shot at. So I watch him interact, and this person, he got this person to come outside and look in the truck and say, hey, this is what I got, and they bought.
Yeah.
I was like, and he said it took him 7 years to get that down.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, it's based on human psychology, right? Like all marketing is understanding who already has the pain point that you solve. Yeah. And then how do you communicate the way that you solve it in a way that they choose you versus your competition? That's marketing in a nutshell, right? Yeah. But you cannot market effectively. You cannot sell effectively without the piece that you were just talking about, which is understanding who you are selling to. It's a skill set. It's a skill set. And you cannot skip that step. I think a lot of people try to skip that step. They just focus on, this is what I've learned and this is who I am and me. So you should just trust me. I know what I'm talking about. The end. Goodbye. Versus, are you looking for something like this? Does this resonate with you, person who is potentially going to pay me money? Like, does this help you? If not, then don't spend your money on me. But if it does, here's how I can help you, right? You cannot skip the step of understanding the psychology of what has brought someone to your door in the first place.
Yeah. You know, that's what he taught me, man. He said, you can wait on the politicians to change, the laws to change. And he's like, look, nothing's going to change fast enough until you decide to change. So I always took that advice, and I just kept learning from it. And you got to think about it. At the time, he owned a publishing company also. So he was selling.
Jeez, what didn't he do?
He owned a publishing company, a meat company, and
Street Magic.
And he still had stuff like that he was selling too. So I'm looking at all this and I said, oh, he basically took everything he learned years ago and just applied it to everything that he got.
Well, and what a like tangible lesson of the principle of marketing yourself. It does not matter what business it is. Yeah. Right? You could be selling meat, you could be selling magic. Yeah. Same principles.
Yeah. I was just amazed at how, and at the time I'm like, he told me, he said, look, if you can sell a book, you can basically sell anything. He said, this is probably the hardest thing you ever have to sell, you know, because a book is just a book.
Yeah. And it requires commitment from the buyer.
Yeah. So he said, once you master selling books, anything else, it'll be, you see it, that it's going to become much easier, you know? And then, I happened, after I saw him do books, I wrote a book, but it was based on like dating and relationships. And then I got I got into other things. I started working with like life insurance people, doctors, and a lot of other local people in the area, whatever. But basically, that's how I got started. It was it's a learning curve, and I think that's what stops a lot of people.
Yes. And for those people, if you are listening, if that is stopping you, I want to tell you it's not as hard as you think it is. It's really not as daunting and as hard as you probably think it's going to be. You're not going to have to spend 7 years on a meat truck anymore to understand this stuff. You can very quickly learn a few key formulas or key ways of thinking that will shift everything. I mean, even just what we brought up earlier of having that question in your mind whenever you're writing, that your reader only is asking, what's in it for me? And if you can just answer that question anytime you write anything, you're already so ahead of the game. It's not as hard as you think it is. I promise.
Oh. Especially today, because, like 20 years ago, you couldn't do this.
Yeah.
There was no, at least not to my knowledge, there were no sites for copywriting that I knew of.
Right? You had to go through like an advertising agency.
Yeah. And
Mad Men style.
Yeah. Or the only person that I knew of were Ted Nicholas. You had Dan Kennedy out there. That's about it.
Yeah. There were books on it, but it was more, it was very like male dominated sales tactic stuff. It was not like interpersonal. No, certainly not. And, one thing that I always encourage people about is like, you don't have to come up with this alter ego or this like super buttoned up professional persona. You can just write how you talk.
They do that online a lot today. They do that in social media a lot.
Yeah. Like if you're not Susie Sunshine, don't show up on Instagram being like, hi, I just wanted to pop on and da-da-da-da. Yeah. If that's not how you talk in real life, then just write the same way that you talk. And if you struggle with writing, I actually love the trick of the voice memo. Like pretend you're talking to your best friend or pretend you're explaining it to like a middle school kid and talk it out, record it on voice memo, play it back and transcribe it on the screen. And whatever sticks out that feels valuable, use that as your copy. Write how you talk. If you struggle with writing, talk first.
Yeah. So today no one has to go at it alone. Not today.
That's right.
There's too many resources out here, online and offline. So you can't, the resources are there. You just have to put in a little time and effort and you'll be good,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So if people wanted to work with you, where would they go to?
You just put it right up on the screen. It's my name, kelseyformost.com. That's KelseyFormost.com. And if you want any of those freebies that we were talking about earlier, kelseyformost.com/freebies is where you'll find those. And then if you want to see me make some silly content, get a little bit of more of a feeling of who I am behind the scenes, Instagram is where you can usually find me at kelsey.writes.
There you have it. Like, share this episode. Tell me what you think below. All links will be found in the show notes. Until next time, we're out. Peace.